Hey guys, I got a whole box of fun for you today. So my wife's aunt cleans out estates to get houses ready for sale, and she found a box full of old vintage Star Wars things that was about to be thrown away, and she brought it to me, so I got all this for free. Let's go take a look. So here's the box. I've already gone through it. A lot of things are broken. There's nothing complete in here, but for parts and just a lot of fun, it's a good lot. I'm gonna clean it all up and fix it up for you. This figure holding bandolier, all the foam is really sticky and falling apart, so that's not gonna be able to be saved. But I'm gonna clean this all up and I'll show you what I got. Alright, everything in the box was cleaned and sorted, so we're gonna start out by showing the non-Star Wars things that were in the box. Right here is a collection of accessory pack G.I. Joe helmets and a tripwire backpack. I have bags full of the accessory pack stuff because no one really wants them, but that's all there was for G.I. Joe in there. Here is a vehicle that's from 1983 called a High Riser. It's missing the hood, which is also the battery cover, but it's in good shape. Not something I'd particularly be interested in, but a nice old vehicle. And then we have some Battlestar Galactica. We got the Cylon Raider here. Does not have the missiles or the cockpit cover. I've already got one of these in the collection that does have the missiles. And here is a part of a Colonial Viper from Battlestar Galactica as well, but just one part. And here we've got a stretcher from a old Tonka metal ambulance. Could be useful in the future for figure photography or other things. Then we've got like this little army jeep here with a fold down windshield. Just the old Jeep. And then here we have a Jeep from Fisher-Price Adventure People. This is the yellow one. There's also an orange one. It's got this rubber band here that is supposed to hold a canoe on top. And then inside there is this female Adventure People figure. Then there's this old 1960s cap gun. It's a 50-shot repeater. It says Tommy gun on here. Kind of got a neat cartridge here where it takes the rolls of caps and you can put a whole roll in there and just keep on firing. The tip of the gun, the barrel, is broken off. Still kind of neat. And then there is this U.S. Army plastic play belt. Inside is this little red gun. My son has taken this, and this is now his Indiana Jones belt. He loves Indiana Jones, and he wears this now with his hat and his whip, and plays Indiana Jones around the house, so he'll get that back in just a second. Now it's time to get into some of the Star Wars items. We've got two audiobooks here. We've got Dark Empire, both cassettes, and The Courtship of Princess Leia, both novels from the 90s. I have not tried these audiobooks yet. They may work, depending on how they were stored. I don't know how well audio cassettes hold up. And then, possibly my favorite thing from the box here is the old 1980 Christmas in the Stars Star Wars Christmas album. I really love the artwork on here. It's Santa's shop with C-3PO and R2-D2 and a bunch of other droids working in it. It's really cool. It does feature one of my kids' favorite Christmas songs. What can you get a Wookiee for Christmas when he already owns a comb? We will definitely be listening to this at Christmas time. It's just a really good piece. I think I'm going to get a frame for it and my other Star Wars albums so I can hang them on the wall. Now, here are some of the old Star Wars roleplay weapons. We've got the Han Solo blaster here. It's got the pieces that are usually missing, which are these little knobs that hold the battery cover on. The one I have in much nicer condition is actually missing these, so I'm going to be taking these off this one. You can't tell which version this is. It was released during all three movies, and they just replaced the sticker here. It either says Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, or Return of the Jedi here. But this one's missing it. And then we've got a Imperial laser rifle here. It's missing the stock, which holds here, and it folds underneath and clips. And you can pull it out to mount it under your shoulder. I did not try to see if this works. It's pretty corroded inside, but it's still a cool piece that I'm probably going to hang on my wall. So besides that folding stock, it's also missing the little cap that goes on the back here. So I just stuck a G.I. Joe O-ring on the back here to hold the battery cover on. I cleaned up pretty well, so I'm going to find a place on the wall for that. Next is some vintage die cast. None of it's in very good shape. We got the X-Wing here. It's actually not too bad, but it's missing the cockpit cover. And then we've got a land speeder here. It's missing the windshield, and it's got some pretty horrible paint corrosion on here. And all the chrome from the front here is pretty much all worn off. I've got another one of these in the collection that has the engines broken off, so I'm going to see if I can somehow swap them. I might be able to get one good one out of the two. And then here's the diecast TIE Fighter, missing a wing, and the pilot hatch that snaps on the back. But I think I could at least find a wing for this at King County and be able to have this on display at least. Here is that Chewbacca bandolier figure holder that you saw in the box. There's pieces of foam here on each side, and you would shove your action figure in there and the foam would hold them in. But that foam was disgusting. It was crumbling and it was sticky, and you could pack it together. It was like chocolate cake. It's pretty gross. But I still think this is a pretty cool thing to have. It did not have the two weapon holders that snap on here. I actually had 4 of these in my parts bin, so I put 2 of them on here. I'm probably going to put this on my cardboard Stormtrooper standee. Gonna look pretty cool. I'll try it on for you and model it in just a second here. So I'm a grown-ish man, so this is a little tight on me, but you get the idea. You'd sling this over your shoulder and under your other arm, and it'd be like Chewbacca's bandolier. And you'd clip all your action figures on here, and you'd carry them to your friend's house. You put the weapons in this pouch. It's kind of the goofiest way you could ever carry your action figures around, and it's pretty inconvenient. Some of the action figures are on your back, so if you're still wearing this and you need to get your figure, you gotta ask your friend to grab your figure for you. But that's what it is. Probably the dorkiest carrying case of all time. We're gonna get into some of the vehicles now. We've got the original white TIE Fighter. I cleaned it up pretty good and re-adhered the stickers. It's actually pretty nice. It's just missing one half of the hatch, which is, you know, probably like a $5 part that I should be able to find pretty easily. It's still got the battery cover and everything. I already have one of these, so I'm probably going to find the hatch cover for this and hang this one from the ceiling. And then we've got a X-Wing that's in pretty sad shape. The wing's broken like usual, but I know how to fix those. I've done it before. But then the real bad part about this is someone lost all the stickers and they used some model paint. And they painted all the stripes on there. And it's also missing the hatch cover. The landing gear is intact, but this is pretty much just salvage for parts. Next, we have this snow speeder that cleaned up really well. It's nice and clean. It's got both thrusters on the back. It's got all of its stickers. It only had one of the cannons, but I had an extra one in my parts bin, so I added that on. It's missing the harpoon and harpoon block, and also the cockpit cover. So I'll probably use this one in my Hoth display. Just got to find a cockpit cover for it. I think those are about 20 bucks. And then I'll have a really nice snow speeder, a third one in the collection. And then we have this mini rig here. This is the INT-4. It's missing one of its wings, the gun, the hatch cover. Not in great shape, probably just good for parts. I have one that's complete to show you if you want to see what it looks like. So it should have that hatch and this gun in the front and 2 wings. So you can see what the one I got versus the one I already had looks like. Here is probably the saddest thing that was in the box. This is the remains of a Death Star space station playset. Unfortunately, whoever had this at one point took all the supports here that held the multiple floors together, and they super glued them in, all the tabs. Most of them were already broken off. I attempted to get the few out that were still in, but it did not work. These things have been super glued for a very long time, and they've pretty much melded the plastic together. I think if I ever need to use these parts, the only way I'm going to get these out now is taking like a Dremel tool and literally cutting the pieces out and putting in new supports, which is kind of sad. It's like that on every floor. Just broken tab, broken tab. This top floor where the laser cannon sits, the laser cannon's got both tips broken off, but this mechanism here is actually from the one I already had. The one that came on this actually was not broken, which is something that is very commonly broken on this playset. So I took this one off of my old one and I put in a working one. So now my exploding laser cannon does work. So we've got, you know, that floor. Here's the main control floor. It's still got the trap door. This is glued on. This one came off. Then we've got the pushing part from the trash compactor, but I do not have the rest of the trash compactor here. And then we've got the elevator tower, which isn't in too bad a shape. I'm actually going to take this elevator tower and I'll put it in the background of my shuttle display, just as a little scenery for make it look a little more like the Death Star. And lastly, here are a few parts that were rattling around in the bottom of the box. We've got 4 tools for the vehicle maintenance energizer vehicle. There's 4 of the 8 that it came with, so I don't have that mini rig, so these will probably come in handy some point down the line. This is the chest armor for an ATST Scout Walker. I actually need this for one of my Scout Walkers, so that's good. And then we've got 2 legs for the tripod laser cannon. Mine actually only has 2 legs, so one of these will come in handy for me. My current one is resting on the little energy box it comes with to hold it up straight, so now we got another leg. And then we've got both A and B backsides of the laser cannons for another snow speeder. So apparently this person at one point had 2 snow speeders. Who knows where the other one is? And well, that's it then. So that's everything that was in that box. Some good stuff, parts I'll use now, parts I'll probably have use for down the line. Some of it is kind of junky, and a lot of people might consider this all junk, but for me it's treasure. I'd like to thank my wife's Aunt Nadine for hooking me up with this free box of goodies. Thanks, Nadine. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to the Toy Cave for more toy hunts and toy content. Thanks for watching.